Aloha, everyone, in another level of living land. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Freedom Fridays. So happy that you are here today because we are in for a special treat. It is all about love, love, love. Okay. So, first of all, what are we doing here? The whole purpose of this show is to support you as the entrepreneur in achieving success in business and life harmony because it really is two sides of the same coin. We never want to get so busy making a living that we forget to make a life. And it is possible to work smarter, not harder, create time, money, emotional freedom, stress less, and strengthen our relationships all at the same time. And that's what business life harmony is all about. It is all about relationships and love. That's the essence of everything. So, our special guest, I want y'all to give her a warm welcome to the love coach, Alia Jamal. Oh, Alia, thank you so much for being here. We're so happy to have you today.
Oh, thank you so much, Heather, for having me. It's absolutely an honor to be here,
Yeah.
having this conversation with you today.
Oh, it's going to be good. I know it's going to be so good for all of us. But first, let me tell them who you are. So, Alia Jamal is the love coach and pranic healer who is dedicated to helping women connect with the unconditional love within themselves. She combines her 10-year experience in cytogenetics. Did I say that right? Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. The study of human behavior, that's much simpler. And the human energy body to help her clients align to their true self. She helps them eliminate fears, anxiety, guilt, and judgments, and create a life of love and power. And besides helping her clients live as their true, authentic selves, she loves trees, meditation, and reading. Alia, so happy that you're here. And you will not believe it, but I went and I hugged the tree yesterday, like the one outside. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love you. And it was so great.
Yeah, I hug all the trees in the neighborhood, and I have taught that to my son too. And then I talk to them. It's so wonderful. We can talk to everything around us.
And it's like they hug you back. People are like, no, they're happy when you hug them. And you can feel
Yeah.
that beautiful grounded energy that they give.
Yeah, there was this one tree in my neighborhood. It was feeling a little sick one day, and I went and I hugged it, and then I sent it energy because we can clear the root of the tree or the plant, and that energy helps them become more healthier. So I did energy clearing on that tree, and it's still alive. They didn't have to cut it down.
Okay, now so you have to tell us, okay, what is this power of self-love? What is this all about? Because I know you mentioned the energy thing. A lot of people aren't really sure about energy, but I know that everything is energy. So how does it all connect? Tell us.
Okay, so what I basically teach, I teach unconditional self love. We all love ourselves to some level. That's why we are alive. Otherwise, we won't do anything for ourselves. But what unconditional self love is, you fall in love with the soul that came in this body that is having this physical experience. So it's going beyond what your eyes can see. And once you are living life from that place, once you're aligned with your soul, and you have resolved and accepted your personality and transformed it to whatever you wanted to transform, and now you're living from that place of soul where you feel one with the universe. That is what unconditional self-love is. And what it really does for a human, it brings us to a place of total freedom. Like, you will experience emotional freedom, you will experience freedom in your finances, freedom in your relationships. We can use that energy to create anything, because then you are experiencing energy of love. Most of us, we run after emotion of love, but emotion of love is very different than energy of love. Once we nurture that within ourselves, then we can start living from that place, and we attract everything that is in harmony with that. But the work has to be done within us. It cannot be done outside of us. That is when we can look at a situation and be like, oh, that's how I created it. It's not another person's fault, because we are so honest with ourselves. Being honest with ourselves is not scary anymore.
This is so good. Okay. Because I'm just like soaking in. I love hearing you talk about this because, one of the things that I talk about is that we can't pour out from an empty cup. We can't give what we don't
Yeah,
have. So the more that we are able to fully receive all the love that we are, and then you're talking about being all the love that unconditional, I mean, it's like limitless. Then we
yeah,
are able to naturally give from our overflow, and everything else externally is just much more ease, calm, freedom, recognize
exactly.
what's happening externally, like, oh, this is interesting, as compared to, oh my gosh, just happened, and then we immediately like freak out internally.
Exactly. And what it also does, which is so magical, we are not chasing anything anymore. I'm not chasing love outside of me. I'm not chasing a relationship. I'm not chasing money. I'm not out there. I am in here. And I am just aligned with who I am. And that nurtures a very deep trust that whatever I need comes to me. So we start to also start feeling like, I am prosperity. What prosperity is, I will have whatever I need whenever I need, I'll get it. So that kind of trust in life, in God, in universe, in ourselves, when we experience that, there's no more anxiety, there's no more depression. It is that easy to get to that level. And of course, it requires work. Fine print, it does require work to get there.
I gotta give you a heart on that. I don't even know if you can see the reactions in the
I can see that.
well, I know you can see it. I don't know if they can see it like externally, but that is exactly it. Like, I love that it's a lot of times we get caught up in the thinking. Like, so in our communication mind mastery training, I tell them less thinking and more trusting, and how to be able to be like everything is already taken care of. The victory is already
Yeah,
yours. It's already written. A lot of times we want things so quickly and we'll chase, chase, chase. But then when we are, then there's no reason to chase. Then we naturally attract
yeah,
the right thing.
exactly. It's like, when we build a solid foundation, we don't have to worry about an earthquake. Like, the worst example that's coming to my mind right now. If I have worked on myself, then I am not worried about what's happening outside of me. So I am not worried about the future. So there's no anxiety. I'm not experiencing guilt anymore because I feel my own completeness. No one cannot guilt trip me either. So that means my relationships are going to be so much freer. There's more freedom, there's lightness, there's harmony in life.
It's like lighthearted. I was looking on my vision board the other day, and it was, or not this morning actually, and I was like, oh, like one of the cute little things is like lighthearted. Like a lot of times we're walking around with all this heaviness, right? So
Yeah,
I got two questions for you. The first question is, not doing this, not having being able to be that love and step into that. What will that do for people if they don't do the work? What do they get externally?
okay.
Or even
So if we talk about, like, worldly success, yes, you can get it. Like, you can get all the money without being in love with yourself. What self-love does, it gives you that emotional maturity and emotional mastery where you truly experience peace and calm within yourself that nothing outside of you can take away. Even if you even if you get into an accident, even that will not take away that peace. Even if somebody so close to you die, even that will not take away that peace. And to me, that is how every human should live. But at the same time, it's not for everybody. Not everybody wants to do this kind of work. We all have our own path. So if someone doesn't feel inclined towards it, that's okay too. But if we are really going for, I want to feel at peace, regardless of what's happening around me, regardless of what's in my bank account. The way I experience, um, share, like, tell about what unconditional self love is. If you can love yourself when you have nothing and nobody on your side, you're completely homeless, living under a bridge, and you're at peace with yourself, that's what unconditional self love is. You're not trying to achieve things outside of you. You accept yourself wherever you are. And once we are there, we can build anything.
That's so good. It's like it's almost like creating the foundation, like a solid foundation to be able
Yeah,
to build a beautiful legacy. Not where
yeah,
it's like, was filtered with all of this, like, I wouldn't necessarily say negative, but the tension, but it's
yeah.
just is. Hence, like
There's no stress, there's no hustle, there's no anxiety. If anyone wants to live their life like that, have that kind of human physical experience, then they should definitely check out Unconditional Self Love.
well, and then you'll hear from some people that say, "Oh my gosh, it's not possible." Well, it's not possible because maybe you just haven't get experienced it yet. And I feel
That
like
is so
that's a
true.
little bit of experience with you. They'll be like hooked because they're like, "Oh my gosh, I can feel this good." Really?
Yeah. And I when I started my journey, I was just like, there's something I'm looking for, there's something I'm looking for. I was really searching, and I studied like crazy. I mean, still I study so many hours of my day just go to studying myself so I can be a better leader. But I was just searching, 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 and the day I found it, people say, like, you hear the bird chirp louder. I had that experience, and now anything can happen around me, and people who are closer to me, the kind of life experiences I have had, and to the level that I am able to show up, looking at the outside, they think that I am just numb, or there is something wrong with me, or I am not a normal human. That's how they would see me. But being in it, with it, I am living the happiest life because everything makes sense to me. And I can show up in a place where somebody else would get so triggered that they will pass out or maybe end up having a panic attack. I can show up there and be present and still have that peace within me. And of course, if you have not experienced it, by actually living it, you would never believe. It would be like, oh, that's not possible, but it is possible if we are willing to explore that human are the highest creation created. Why? Like, why? Every religion talks about it. Every culture talks about it. Why? What makes us so high? That is this. We can get to a level of self development where we do become masters. And unconditional self love is the only path to get to that level. Love is the only way. There's no other way.
And then everything follows. I feel like that love brings the wisdom, and then money follows, everything
Yeah,
follows, connection follows. So I have another question for you. Um, Can you share with us? I want you to be able to share with us some just some tangible techniques of like what people
sure.
can do right now who's listening to this. But before then, can you share with us a little bit about um maybe like before and after, or what led you to this? Like how were you even before compared to like now? Because it's almost exciting. Like, I mean, I'll go back and I'll look at a video that I did like a year or so ago, and I'm like, wow, that's totally different. And I look now, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's amazing, right? So it's that
Yeah,
journey, and a lot of times people see the glory, they don't know
yeah,
the story.
yeah.
So
So I was extremely depressed, always struggled with negative thinking to the point that I wanted to just take my head off my shoulder and put it somewhere so I don't have to hear the noise. I always tried to put everyone else above me. I was a people pleaser. I would even buy gifts for everybody and nothing for myself. I'll get like a $5 t-shirt for myself and maybe gift like a $50 something to other. That's how I lived. And I always had issue with somebody always pissed me off. There was always that emotional struggle. And now I give to myself as a mom, as a dad, as a spouse, as a friend. I am way on top of my own list, but I am not ignoring anybody else either. I am present for them too, but when I am there, I am not expecting anything from them. Nothing. No expectations in relationship. I just show up as me.
Oh, that's
And
so
I don't need them to give me anything at all, whether it's praise, whether it's gifts, whether it's their time. I'm not even gonna say, hey, I'm here visiting you while you're on your phone. It's okay, you can be whoever you want. And that comes from, like, filling my cup so much. I have adopted myself as my firstborn. I have taken vows with myself, so I have married myself through my own personal ritual. And every morning, 2 to 3 hours is just for me. So I wake up 3:30 a.m. to 4 a.m. so I can be up before my son wakes up. That's the lifestyle I have created, so I can just be with me, meditating, just sitting with myself, journaling, affirmation. I try not to bring any work in there. So that is the relationship I get to enjoy. There's no anxiety, there's no depression, there's no stress. I mean, still things happen in my life. I'm still living in this human experience, but the way I move through them is being present and always seeing the solution in the situation, and not thinking, oh my God, the world is coming to an end.
right. Oh, that's so good. In our emotional intelligence and life harmony code, that's really like the essence of life harmony is emotional intelligence. We can't control the things that are happening. There's going to be so much crap happening externally, but we can control how we respond. And that's
Yeah.
where our greatest power is, in the response. And you're giving us a cool example on how to be able to be that. We can't pour out from an empty cup, we can give from our overflow. And that could seem like 100% to them, and you're talking about even not getting triggered. How many times that's one of the issues that a lot of times we want, like, what are some of the common signs that we have some soul issues, soul wounds? We're easily offended based on, so all of these different triggers, you're allowing us to be able to minimize or release. So
Yeah.
what are a couple of things that our audience can do today, in addition to getting more connected with you, but what can they do right now to start moving towards this? What are some wise tips that you can share with us?
So one of the fastest way, like, just the first step to even start this journey, basically what unconditional self-love is, you move from here to here, but you also resolve everything that's sitting here, because our back heart chakra, that's where we store trauma. And our front heart chakra, that's where all the wisdom is. So we want to move from here to here, but we want to spend more time here so we can even get used to it. It's just like living in a new home, in a new neighborhood. You kind of get used to it. So first of all, make a task to every day spend at least 5 minutes with yourself without your phone. I'm not asking about meditation. If you can do that, that's even wonderful. But put everything away and just put a 5 minute timer, just sit with yourself and feel you are actually a being. You're not just a person that you know. I'm not just Alia, you're not just Heather. I am somebody bigger than that. Just start focusing on that idea. And the second thing that can be done, so there's a chakra right here, electromagnetic field. There's a chakra here, electromagnetic field. Just put your hand in the middle of your chest and it opens. Like it literally
Like a
expands.
flower.
And when it expands, our heart is opening, because when we go through trauma, what's actually happening, humans are so resilient. We can go through the craziest things, but we still live. How come? Because we have this energetical safety mechanism, that we can build a wall around our heart that protects it, so we still keep going. The energy that's here, it still keeps going. So when we start this work, we want to dissolve those walls so we can get to who I really am. That requires opening your heart every single day. What I do with my clients, I actually clear the trauma, and then we clear the trauma in terms of processing it, talking through it, like, the typical coaching skills. But I also clear it for them, but they also do this. Just put your hand on your heart, close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths. And imagine you're taking those breaths from your heart, from the middle of your chest. as if your lips are in the middle of your chest. Just 3 deep breaths. And that's it. Even if you just start doing that, you would feel so much lighter, because when we are expanding the heart, whatever energy is stuck in there has more room to move. When the energy is not moving through chakras the way it's supposed to, because there's a blockage in there, because if there's a traumatic event that happened, every event has its energy, so it blocks. When it's not blocking, that's when we feel so closed up. That's when we have hard time trusting other people.
Yeah.
But we have that issue because we don't trust ourselves either. We are not open to receiving our own love. So when we are opening our heart slowly, we are opening to receiving our own love, and we can start receiving love from other people. We can start receiving more from the universe with ease, not with stress and hustle. So we are just opening, going from a bud to a fully blown flower.
Oh, that's so good. And you know what? It's like, even as you describe it, and even as this, like, it's a never-ending journey, right? Like, because this, like, you can, it's beautiful because the ability of love that we can receive is unlimited, right? So as
Yeah.
we're evolving in this journey, just living it, it takes the pressure off. Like you said, it's freedom. And so, yes, we can continue to live in chaos, or we can step into the freedom by just being able to give ourselves self-love. And if you want to know more about this, Alia, what do you have that you can share with us? How can they be able to connect with you more?
So the easiest way is, find me on Facebook or anywhere on social media. I am Alia, the love coach, and that would be the fastest way to get hold of me. And send me a DM. Anybody who's watching, you don't have to be my client. You don't have to work with me. One conversation with me, I can guarantee you it's going to change the way you live your life.
I
So
love
reach out to me for that.
Yes, please definitely reach out to her. Take advantage. And what's this love circle that you have that
So I do a free workshop every single Thursday. It's 1 p.m. Eastern time. I host it on Zoom, and I teach exactly what I teach my client, but in bite-sized pieces. So somebody can just show up to the workshop and they can get benefit from it. And I also do on-spot coaching at the end of the workshop. But if they don't show up live, if they go onto the page, which is bit.ly / join love circle, that link, and they sign up, they'll get a recording. So they're getting a recording. They can watch it whenever they want. And it's just a wonderful way to just even start exploring how would it feel to build a healthy relationship with myself, because it's not that other people betray us, we betray ourselves without knowing. And if we want to change the way other people treat us or what we are attracting, we have to change that inner part within us.
Exactly. Because our happiness is an inside job. So by nature, we're like looking for other situations and circumstances to make us happy. But then when we
Yeah.
actually step into the joy and everything that we already are, then there's
Mhm.
no external desire to chase.
Exactly. And what unconditional self-love process does, it helps you to get to that level. So
Cool.
then it's not just a concept, you can actually embody it.
I'm so excited. Oh, I love it. I'm going to put the link to her Joy Love Circle in the chat, along with her link to her website. And do you have just like, I guess, what would be like the big takeaway, last thing that you want to share with our audience today?
Yeah, I would like to say that instead of chasing love, become love. And just give yourself that experience where you become love.
Oh,
It's like,
that's like a
instead of building your IRA account or your investment account or whatever, build this love within you, and you're going to have so much beauty in your life, a very different experience.
Oh my gosh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard it here. It is all about love. Be the love and don't try to chase it. No need to chase because it's already within you. Let's amplify that. Get a hold of Alia with her Join Love Circle. And I'm so grateful that y'all had this time. Alia, thanks so much for blessing our stage with your presence today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Such an honor.
Oh, it's our pleasure. And we look for everyone have an amazing Freedom Friday, and we look forward to seeing you next week for another awesome episode. Take care, everyone. Peace.